Hi, I'm Penny Wirsing. I've been a member of SWE for over 30 years, and I'm pleased to be this year's Director of Strategic Initiatives. I'm going to share some information about the governance structure that's been under review and our path forward. So why are we doing this? We need to evolve, given the changes within the organization. In just the past 10 years, membership has increased by 16,000 members, nearly doubled, and we're now global, truly global. In that same time frame, conference attendance has tripled. We've added scores of virtual and face-to-face professional development training, expanded our K-12 programs, grown scholarships, and amplified our government relations and public policy efforts on the national stage. All of this requires more staff support and different volunteer leadership structures and opportunities. We can and should be providing more meaningful and relevant leadership opportunities and training to our members. This is something SWE has prided itself on offering since our founding 65 years ago. The current structure has become confusing and difficult to navigate. It tends to keep members from participating, and as a result, we're seeing many positions going unfilled or filled by the same members year after year, resulting in volunteer burnout. We need to streamline our bylaws, our policies, and procedures. The reason people join SWE isn't to complete reports, but rather to support the mission of advancing women in engineering. With this in mind, in FY15, the board engaged with McKinley consultants. McKinley is a firm that specializes in helping professional associates create strategy and structures to maximize member engagement. SWE asked McKinley to help determine the ideal governance structure and volunteer service model to support the organization's growth and globalization goals and to maximize member engagement. McKinley reviewed available data and conducted in-depth interviews with SWE staff and both current and past volunteer leaders to measure perceptions. They also conducted benchmarking to evaluate other organizations' effective governance and engagement practices to the extent applicable. We realize every organization is different, but we also realize that there are things that we can and should learn from these other organizations. Based on this information, McKinley proposed a number of recommendations to optimize SWE's governance structure. For the past several months, a group of senators, region governors, board members, and longtime SWE members have been working in subgroups designed to represent multiple points of view. These subgroups are focused on several areas: the nomination process, board composition, region structure, Senate responsibilities, committee structure, bylaws, and section structure and requirements, using the McKinley recommendations as a guide. This information was previewed at SWE15 Town Hall, and the feedback received there has been incorporated to provide more and more frequent information to our members on why we're making these changes, as well as a robust feedback mechanism. The subgroups have held multiple discussions, including face-to-face meetings at SWE15 in Nashville and recently at the Winter Senate meeting in Philadelphia, as well as regular calls. All of this collaborative discussion has allowed us to piece together a high-level vision of what the future will look like, incorporating what we've heard works and doesn't work. The graphic you see here outlines this high-level vision, the 8,000-foot level. Please understand that no graphic can capture everything. There's still a lot of details to be worked. And we know that a key concern of our members is communication, and that developing, maintaining, and strengthening effective communication paths is critical. With that in mind, let's look at the vision. We have the board. The board remains the governing body of the society, elected by the members, with some appointed directors. And note that voting members of the society in the future will include collegians. Strategic body. This is what's called the Senate today. It may be called something other than that. It will be made up of 15 to 20 members, elected and appointed, probably 3-year terms, basically absorbing all of the current strategic planning process. Headquarters. Headquarters will continue to provide support and consistency. They'll perform the environmental scans to feed the strategic planning process. They'll do everything they do today and more to remove the administrivia responsibilities from our volunteers. Committees. We recognize the strategic focus areas will be moving from some of the committees to the Senate. Committees will continue to provide a strong leadership pipeline, even stronger than today, to address concerns of some of the checks and balances that have been raised. Key committee chairs will now be elected by the membership, including finance, audit, ethics, bylaws, and nominating committee. Sections. We're looking to simplify the requirements of sections while still maintaining the 501c3 status. And we're considering additional flexibility similar to our international affiliates today. You'll note that the formal regional structure will be dissolved as part of these changes. I want to reiterate, we recognize the need for robust communication between the sections and the society leadership, and we'll continue to incorporate what we're hearing works and doesn't work. In the next few months, existing groups will continue meeting to identify the next steps, and those next steps will be consolidated. We'll develop a timeline for the next few months as well as the next couple of years. A smaller working group will be created for FY17, recognizing that such a large group as we've had this past year is no longer needed, as well as the fact that many of the current members of these groups will be rotating out of their leadership positions. Communication will remain key. We'll be hearing input, testing ideas, socializing decisions. This video is an example. Please help us identify concerns that need to be addressed in order to make this a success. Visit governance.swe.org to view the Q&As already there and pose your own questions to governance@swe.org. I will personally see those emails. Thank you for your interest and for your support.